Start now. Good evening, everyone, and good morning for our guest who's joining in from Miami. Welcome to the second session of Beyond Status Quo. We had an amazing response in the previous session we did with Paula, and we're very excited to do the second session. In this, we're going to cover a completely different side of the economic ecosystem. As you are all aware that in any society or any economic activity based ecosystem, there are multiple stakeholders, right? You've got the government, which we covered in the last section in many ways. You've got corporates, in which you could have MSMEs, startups, or large multinational corporations. You even have academia, and we're going to cover that in subsequent sessions in this week. And you also have different other parts of the economic activity like chambers of commerce or trade bodies or lobbying bodies who also play a very important role in voicing the industry opinion to the government. Now, our federation itself, FGCR, as you know, has been playing a pioneering role in bringing together all the different stakeholders and making sure the entire recovery, post Corona, can be more sustainable. And while I was a few months back in Florida, we signed a significant MOU with Polish and US Chamber of Commerce, and Anna represents our guest today represents that Chamber of Commerce as well. So I think the discussion would be structured in two parts. One would be we're going to talk about her perspectives in terms of how the chambers of commerce can help in the current crisis. And then if you look at the industry side of the thing, so you've got multiple industries, right? You've got FMCG, manufacturing, discretionary, non-discretionary spending, and then you've got industries like infrastructure, real estate, which in many ways determine the state of the economy and where things are going. So they're called the early predictors of the trends of economy. So we're going to talk about some of those interesting sectors as well today. So before we get into the discussion, I want to give a slight background about our guest today. So all of you know, I'm sure you have already read the profile and would be amazed by the wealth of experience she's going to share with us. I have had the honor and privilege of working with her. We signed the MOU when I was there in the US few months back. So I can vouch that you are all in for a treat of a session, going forward. So a quick few words about Anna. She, apart from the amazing work she does, I think she's truly a very inspiring and a charming personality, as you would figure out. And that's because of her background. She has lived in almost 7 countries, and she's a globetrotter in many ways. She runs businesses in Middle East, in Europe, in US, and in Asia Pacific. She's also the executive vice president of the Polish American Chamber of Commerce, Silesian chapter. She's a certified international property specialist, CIPS. She's also a certified Dubai International Property Consultant, DIPC, and she's a licensed real estate professional and a realtor with Remax Advanced Realty in Miami. And if you see her list of credentials and her list of qualifications, you're going to be overwhelmed. She has done, masters in luxury, hospitality, event management. She has done LLM as well in international and European commercial law. She is a bachelor of arts as well in business administration. So as you can see, she's got that proverbial width, breadth, and as well as depth of expertise. So you're gonna be really go back completely inspired with what all a human being can achieve in such a short span of time. I'm not gonna reveal her age, but she's achieved all this in such a young age. So it's really inspiring for all of us. So with this, I would request all of you to give a warm welcome to her, and I'm gonna do it in her mother tongue. She comes from Poland. So cześć, Ania, dzień dobry, dziękuję
Cześć,
bardzo. Serdecznie witamy w naszym programie. So warm welcome to our program. And before we get into the conversation, I also want to introduce our co-host, Sushma Mathur. You're aware of, she's the co-host of this program. So before we get into the more serious conversation, what we also wanted to know from you, Anna, was your perspectives around how do you see the role of chambers of commerce and trade bodies in general in such a critical time? We've seen these unprecedented times right now. What role do you think the trade bodies and chambers of commerce like yourself can play, and how do you see these chambers of commerce in different countries? Like, we have our federation here, you've got, US Polish Chamber of Commerce, and similar other bodies are also there. How they can come together and collaborate in these critical times and together be a voice of the public? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. I wouldn't be able to do it better. Namaste to everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight with you. I am sending you lots of warmth from the Sunshine State here in the United States. And thank you for inviting me to this. So as Kartik mentioned, I work with the Polish American Chamber of Commerce. I represent the Silesian chapter back in Poland. And I believe that given the circumstances, and more than ever, the chambers, we have to focus a lot on building our relationships. This is now limited. It's impossible for us to meet in person right now. So up till now, whatever connections we have made, we should cherish them, and we should keep on working, and we have to trust each other and build that relationship. Because like in real estate, in business, and in trade, that's what counts the most, in my opinion. So when it comes to adapting to the current market, we started focusing more on the medical aspect with our chamber. So we're trying to meet the demand of medical products. So in our sphere and with other chambers, what we're working on now is supplying products such as masks, test kits, vanillizers, anything which could be important to countries now around the world to fight with the pandemic. So also what we thought of, due to the reason that there was a big deficiency of masks on the market, we decided to work on a new technology of a mask, which has nano silver inside of it. And what's really great about it is that when you actually go outside or you go running, it doesn't get wet or humid. So this is what we're working on now. We're starting the production this week. So this is one of the newest things that we're actually working on, and we're going to be directly selling it to the world. So I'm hoping that this will really help out a lot of people, and that will do a good impact to the world, given the circumstance and how we were able to adapt.
Yeah, and do you also see, some knowledge sharing of such good practices, or whether it's technology, or whether in terms of some of these cutting edge innovations you are driving there? Do you see a value in also sharing these practices with other chambers of commerce around the world or other trade bodies?
Well, yes, that's what we had an issue at the beginning, is to find the appropriate technologies to work on the new products. And we were also concerned about the logistics of everything. But we were lucky enough that actually one of the members from our chamber, he is very much into innovative technology. So he was able to actually work on the masks for us and produce them. So he's a member. And also, I will most probably be talking about it later, because our reality is changing a bit. So we're going to be going more virtual, more and more. We were already preparing, especially in real estate, for this to happen, but now we're gonna face it much quicker. So also, what his business does, and he's a member of our chamber. He has the Super Expo, which focuses on having online virtual trade shows. So you don't even have to go to the trade show to actually see what's happening inside of the trade show and to meet the companies which are present there.
Right. So before we get into the second part of what you do, which is real estate aspect, and I'm going to request Sushma to step in as well for real estate conversation. But before that, I just wanted to show everybody a small video in terms of how NR makes the entire business of real estate very interesting, and something which many of you might not have seen happening back home in India. Let me see if you can also see the.
An ocean breeze puts a mind at ease. Anna Maria Porowska, welcome to 57 Ocean.
Well, that was so fantastic, fabulous, and mesmerizing, Anna. Thank you so much for being that, with us. So, what we wanted to also know that do you see any behavioral changes in the mindset of consumers? For example, do you feel that people will switch from buying spree to taking properties on lease or rent so as to hold on to cash reserves?
Well, I think the reality is that people will always be buying real estate because they have to live somewhere. The only change might be the trends might change, the situation. Like real estate is entirely based on life situations. So what are we going to be facing in 9 months? We're going to have higher birth rates. We're going to have people divorcing. So all of this will impact the real estate market. And what we have to do is we have to adjust to the market situation and what will be happening. As for now, I don't see that the real estate market, especially here in Florida, it's rather stable. So we shall see. I think we will just have to adjust and see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We'll have to wait for a while to see what are the how is real market shaping up. Okay, so
It's
yeah, yeah. So also, do you feel that there is any significant dip in the valuations in real estate market due to the current environment?
As for moment, I don't see it, but I believe it's going to happen. There's going to be definitely a lot of foreclosures and short sales. Even given the example, I know that agents here in Florida, they're preparing for it because now I was quarantining for like 6 weeks. So besides still working virtually, I was taking a lot of classes, and one of the classes, because I wanted to get more knowledge on what might be happening, what we predict, which is the short sales and foreclosures. So I took a class, and the class maxed out. There weren't any available seats after like 2 days of signing up, which already shows you that we're preparing for that, and this will definitely be becoming a reality.
Yeah, sure. So, I and Karthik were also discussing as to how technology will play a role. So, Karthik, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's also very fascinating to sort of imagine, as you were also alluding to that fact, that how technology like virtual reality, or you doing remote tours for the properties you know in spite of doing a physical showing, and also using tools like AI and chatbots or augmented reality. How do you see technology playing a role in current times when you cannot do physical showings? What role do you see being played by tech?
Yes. Well, when it comes to technology and real estate, it's extremely important, especially for a professional like me, who I mostly work with international buyers. So besides the building of relationship and having, trustworthy relationships with my potential clients, my first interaction and introductory to the real estate market over here is through video. So I do a lot of virtual showings, and especially now, everyone is doing it. This is what we have to do because we don't want to, we have to follow the guidelines, the CDC guidelines and everything else. So real estate is considered essential, so we are still working. Everything is happening. We're buying, selling, renting real estate. This is happening, but we have to be very, very precautious. So we're using a lot of technology, and I'm hoping that we're going to have more and more tools. So I'm counting, Kartik, on you to develop more technology for us, so that we'll be able to present the properties with more feeling. I don't know, maybe in the future we can smell the house or like touch it virtually. That would be something amazing that I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely. Sounds amazing. And I would love to collaborate with you on that. And I mean, moving to a more sort of a macro level conversation, as I was, sharing at the start of the conversation, that real estate market, many people, and we've got people in the audience who are from the real estate space, people who have got large businesses, and everybody looks at in a very heuristic manner through real estate, as a guidance for how the overall economy is going to do. And whenever the economy starts to go up or down, real estate is the first sector that gets immediately impacted because of the kind of exposure of capital it requires. So how do you see in next, I know next 6 to 12 months are going to be extremely critical, but do you see this, do you see the buying and selling levels going back to the original levels being restored in the next 12 to 18 months, or do you think the recovery might take a bit longer?
I think for the global real estate market, it's a bit too early to talk about it because we're not sure how long the shutdown will actually last. As for now, especially here in Florida, we don't see that much change. The real estate market didn't really decrease. The price is also there. And I was checking out statistics last night for this interview now. And in the last 30 days, there were almost 1,500 sales only in Miami-Dade County, 1,607 rentals in the last 30 days. So as you see, people are still buying, selling, and renting. This isn't changing now, but definitely it will have an influence in the future. But I cannot predict now what could be happening because we don't know how long the shutdown will last, and I'm not sure.
Right. And Sushma and I were also having a conversation in the morning today around how that impacts. So this is the macro level view, but on a micro level, how this sort of impacts the landlord tenant relationship. Sushma, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it was, I mean, all around the macro level that, there are issues probably around tenants not able to pay rent economic activity. So I just want to know your perspective. Are you also observing, the trend in the US?
Well, we're aware of the fact that the commercial real estate is definitely going to e-commerce. And I think that this pandemic will fasten things up. And definitely, I already hear a lot of cases, and actually, I'm going through one situation as well that the tenants of commercial properties are not being able to pay for the leases. So this will be happening, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to change the reality of how this real estate market is looking. And I think we're going to get into bigger problems with logistics, given even now the situation that I try not to go to stores. I try to be at home as much as possible. Only when I have to, I leave. So I'm ordering a lot from Amazon. So instead of them bringing me all the products at once, they have a couple deliveries, one after the other, which is complete waste of money and time. So I'm hoping that a lot of companies will be adjusting to the logistics.
Right. So,
Sure.
we've also got some participants here in the audience who come from the real estate business or who have exposure to the real estate business. So we've got Jan. if you have any questions, I'm going to unmute you. And then we also have Mr.
Yes,
Dapinder,
and if
Ravi
anyone would
Nandan.
like to add their insights, would maybe they would like to add something how it looks in other countries. It would be really nice to share different points of view.
Right. So Dapinder, Ravi Nandan, Jag, Gaurav, Jaggi, if you have any questions, I have unmuted you. Feel free to ask.
Christina, you also, I mean, if you want to share your perspective with the Anna, I mean, she would like to have, how India is dealing with the situation. You can share
Yeah,
your views.
Anna, am I audible?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah, thank you, Sushma. Anna, historically in India, whenever the lending rates towards buying a house, that is mortgage loan, goes down, the real estate industry comes up in a big way. And you know that Middle East and India is suffering from this. Now, the good point is, number one, the government of India has come up with a stimulus package for real estate industry. Number two, what I actually wanted to ask was, now will the REITs also start investing? So there is a double kind of investment coming in, enhancing the confidence of the developers.
Well, when it comes to Florida, I think the investment will not be as high as it used to be. There's a lot of properties, and given the circumstances now, like there's a lot of potential buyers, but the issue is with the job losses. We have an amazing rate of job losses, so people are not being able to get the mortgages. The interest rates are very low, but people are just not, they're incapable of getting the loans. So I think it's going to have a big influence on the investment world here, definitely.
Good day, team. My name is Jag. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
All right. I'm from Melbourne. I'm in a realtor for last 8 years or so, and I'm doing some kind of projects like around the developments and all like around the real estate and things, which I feel personally for last month or so, due to this like lockdown, the interest rate is down. Majority of investment is coming from China to Australia, and we all expectations like around think all the is Australian government, they're gonna be stop Chinese government to invest anything in here, like Country Garden, a big like Australian based Chinese based company, they invest in Australia. But it happened in adverse effect in Australia. In this meantime, there's a only buyer running in a market which is belongs to China. Chinese corporate market is running in there. And secondly, I feel in this meantime, only the original buyer is sitting in the market. The guys like who's only tasting the market is disappear. And as a result, and we figured out like around as soon as like any progress happening in Australia, which is very low cases happening in Australia, if you see the statistics, and we expectations is 11th of next month, we all clear from this like lockdown situation. And as a result, if the market come back in track, and I feel some kind of pressure happening in a society, which is only waiting as soon as these things are getting settled down normal, it's going to be high pressure of real estate market. It's going to be like boost up the Australian market straight away.
Yes, well, to tell you the truth, I believe so too. And I think Australia and Florida, for instance, they're going to be heavens for investors due to the short sales and foreclosures. I think there's going to be a very big boom given that.
Yeah, it's going to be expectations like around not even 12 to 18 months. I correct this one. So we think about in next 3 to 6 months, if the things getting back on track, if the people settle down a bit with the medications, I think this boost, they increase the feeds towards progress.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, can I just go ahead? Anna, this is Deepinder Purana. I'll take a small question.
Hi, good evening. Namaste.
Hey,
Looks like you are already in Miami.
Yeah, it looks like you're in Miami.
My question comes for Miami only. It's this video which you shared is 57 Miami. This is A project coming in Miami or what like?
This is a developer project which was finished recently, and it's right in Miami Beach. It's a property right on the ocean. If you would like more information, I can send you the entire folder with all the facts and figures on the project.
Yeah, one small question. There was a murmur around which said that all the EB5 visas, people who applied for EB5s, right? They've all applied into property funds, basically, right? If I'm right, right?
Yes,
So,
900. Yeah.
yeah. So what happens is mostly those are Chinese developers. So I think they're making a crackdown on those Chinese developers. And what happens next? So people who have EB5 applied, will their money would be impacted also?
Well, the way it works here, I am not licensed to talk about immigration law, and I don't want to do it publicly because it's illegal for me to talk about it. So we would have to invite a professional who could answer that question.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. The project, I'll speak with Karthik. I think he'll share what exactly is 57.
Yes, please do. Please do.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
We also got a question here, and I don't know how applicable it is, but I'm sure in some way it is. A lot of companies in India, for example, are encouraging their employees to work from home.
Yes.
And I'm sure in some way it's the same there as well. How do you see that impacting the commercial real estate? Do you see people then this becoming like a trend where people will not buy large offices, which is such a big trend in the US? Do you see that changing?
Yes, I was actually thinking about that, and I believe that there's going to be a very big shift. We will, because people just realize that they actually can work from home. Like I can, for instance, I can do everything except for showing the home itself from home. So a lot of people adjusted. It took some time for people to adjust, but I think once they realized, like for me, I think in my real estate profession, what could be happening is that people will be looking into getting, for instance, homes with an extra bedroom for an office, because they will not have the reason to actually have an office. I think this will shift, and we will see an effect of that for sure.
Right. So I think we're already out of time. So I'm going to hand over to Sushma to do the vote of thanks and concluding remarks. But if any one of you has any other questions, just keep it writing in the chat, and I'll make sure that I get the relevant information from our guest and share it with you later on. So over to you, Sushma.
Sure.
No, thank you, Karthik. Well, it was a wonderful exercise, and I would like to thank Anna on behalf of FGECR for sharing her views and perspective on real estate outlook in the US. Although she has given a positive feedback as to how market is responding in the US, I hope the same to as well. Also, it's going to be tough for everyone to sail through. However, we are sure with effort and consistent efforts, we'll all conquer this as well. Would also like to thank each and every participant for the valuable time. If you have any other question, please do reach out to us. And soon we'll also share with you all details of our next edition of Beyond Status Quo. So stay tuned. Back to you, Karthik.
Yeah, so with that, we are at the end of this show, and thank you so much, Dziękuję bardzo, Anna.
Yes, thank you very much for organizing. Thank you everyone who participated. Thank you for the questions. It was great seeing you. I love India. I've been to India. I have many Indian friends, and I'm very fortunate to know you guys. So let's keep in touch. Let's be safe. And I hope that once this lockdown will be over, we'll be all able to see each other very soon. Thank you so much, everyone, and take care.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good
Dziękuję.